Hey, what's happening, man? It's your boy Big K.R.I.T, third co-representative, Jam Signee, Cinematic Music Group, multi-alumni, and you are now tuned in to GoodFellaMedia.com. What's happening?
GoodFellaMedia, it's your boy Q-West. I'm here with the homie Big K.R.I.T.
Yo, what's happening?
Yo, dog, K.R.I.T was here.
Yo.
That shit right there did a lot of big things for you. And you want to know what's funny? I feel like it happened later on. Like, people kind of slept on it during the year, and then when the year finished and people started compiling their list of big albums and big mixtapes that dropped during the year, they threw it on there, and everybody had to go back
Ain't gonna check it.
Yeah, do their homework. After they did that, then all of a sudden it became like, yo, this motherfucker here is nice, dog.
No doubt.
And I think that's what happened. I mean, from what I heard, this was supposed to be like your last hurrah.
Yeah, that was it. That was like, cause I was at a point where I was like, all right, I'm putting out music about my life. It's not radio, you know what I'm saying? It's not that single, you know, what A&Rs are looking for. And I was down and out. I was selling beats. I wasn't selling dope. So shit, you know, the beats wasn't selling. You got bills. I'm in Atlanta. I'm like, man, I'm going home, you know what I'm saying? And I got a phone call, you know.
Well, I'm gonna backtrack real quick because you were talking about the beats, and I mean, there's a lot of rappers that do the, like, I make beats and I rap thing, but you, like, really seem to really take both very seriously, and you can kind of hear it. You can hear that the production, a lot of time is taken into it. And you started out on what, PlayStation?
MTV Music Generator. It's like on PlayStation, the shit was like you line up blocks and like try to put them in key. If you can make a beat on that shit, you can make a beat on anything.
Were you rapping on those beats?
Yeah, karaoke machine type shit.
I was about to say, how did you get them off?
You track it until, like, my pops had one of those cassette recorder things and shit, like with the little equalizer knobs, and I record that shit in on the tape. I take the tape, put it in my karaoke machine, and I record into the mic onto another tape with the beat playing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a ridiculous process. God bless you.
Tape, dog. Nobody was listening to tape back then.
Look where you at now.
Yeah, you know that.
I mean, must have been worth something.
No doubt.
But Mississippi ain't never really had a run. Not like these other states.
Yeah.
That you sounded real angry on those records when you were talking about that. I mean, but you sound like a little piece of everywhere in the South, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm sure you've gotten the, like, your pimp. When you get on your pimp shit,
no doubt,
you sound like Pimp C,
man,
dog.
You gotta understand, I was influenced by UGK and 8 Ball and MJG so much. And so when it comes to the music and the cadence and sometimes how I carry myself, like just the accent alone, talking about cars and whips and swingers.
But it don't even stop there, you know what I mean? Because then when you get on your aggressive stuff, you kind of sound like Tip, like second album Tip. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Then I hear a little bit of Paul Wall. Like, I really hear pieces of different artists in the South, but the lyrical content is at a whole nother level.
I can attribute that to the radio too. Like, where I'm from, it wasn't really a underground, like, hip hop scene for real. So it was like the radio was playing just your top 10 artists that was popping at the time. So you got a good feel of West Coast artists, East Coast artists, Atlanta, and just the whole area. So when people in, like, Mississippi, we have a strong idea, like, everybody's sound, and that's why I can make an East Coast beat, or I dig freestyling off them on West Coast tracks, and it's just all that it compiled, and I'm trying to make a sound for us to put out there, you know.
David Banner's gonna be in the Mississippi Music Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that?
Amazing, man. Banner's the homie, man.
Do you not like when people try to make it seem like you and Banner have, like, some type of issue because of the way you address certain things in the records?
I mean, the record was basically me explaining it as a man, like, I don't really need anybody to vouch for me, and he's busy doing his thing. And for anybody to think that he should vouch for them, like, you got to put in your, your work. And then he recognized what I was doing and spoke on it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I can say I did what I could to make a name for myself. And when we do songs, it ain't on an uneven keel. And then it's like, this is my partner. He want to see the best for me, and we just make music. You know?
Why do you think Mississippi had been, at least, I don't think it is so much anymore with both of you doing what you're doing at the moment, but at least had always been the odd state out down south?
Again, not really being able to have an underground outlet, for one. And then normally people somehow, blend our history of our state with how we may feel about hip hop for some odd reason. And if you think about blues, you know, Muddy Water, B.B. King, like these are people who pioneered a certain sound, but nobody remembers that. You know, it's like hip hop, well, it's the stereotype shit's going on. We don't really want to, or they think we're not lyrical or we're not educated. And these are stereotypes that I really want to break down as far as music is concerned. We got something to say, you know.
It's funny because now when you look at the South, I mean, with cats like yourself, with Yellow Wolf,
yeah, man, the homie.
You know what I mean? You know, you go to Killer Mike, J Electronica, Currency, like these are all Southern artists, and these are some of the most lyrical dudes right now. Like these cats are really spitting and they're really saying something. You guys are kind of breeding a new South sound. Like it has the feel of the South, and now I feel like with all of you guys are saying more. Why do you think there's a change in the resurgence?
I think we all respect hip hop as an art form, and then just the vintage aspect of it all. Like if we had to get inspired, we go back to, you know, the older stuff that inspired us, especially when we were just fans and not rappers. And we kind of channel that energy and put it into our music. And then all these artists believe in subject matter or content or really writing songs, you know. So I think that's why we kind of like really just embrace as far as lyrical content.
Based on your music, you was really close with your mother, right? Well, I mean,
yeah, well, my mother, definitely my mother, you know what I'm saying? My pops, but grandma was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, how did they feel when you were doing this music or whatever? Did they ever discourage you or help you out during the situation? Like, how was that relationship?
I mean, grandma was always like, follow your dreams, even though she didn't understand half the shit I was rapping about. The beat was dope enough that she could dance to it, and that was enough for me. My pops got to see me struggle a little bit more because, you know, he'd be the one I'd be like, yo, ain't no fool here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. All these lights is off for, man. Yeah, well, I ain't pay that water bill, so you know shit. But for the most part, mom, you know what I'm saying, I ain't want to bother her with that. But they was always kind of like, just, you know, if you can't come back home, get a job. But music was the only thing I could see myself doing for real, you know.
That was going on. You got the Def Jam situation, which is incredible. I mean, how did you and Sean Money even get like acquainted with women?
Man, and this how, like, end of 2009, Johnny Shipes, Cinematic Music Group, hollered at me and was like, rock with me for 6 months, no paperwork. 2 months in, I got 3 videos with Creative Control. GFC NYC is doing the marketing. We dropped Crib Was Here, May the 4th. 2 months later, Shot Money reaches out, he hears the music, he loved the movement, you know what I'm saying, he definitely want to rock. June, we signed with Def Jam, you know.
Well, now you want Def Jam, and I mean, there's a purity to what you do musically. And how do you think being on this Def Jam, are you kind of afraid that maybe they might try to steer you in a direction different away from what we hear on Crit is Here? Because there's a lot of artists, I'm not going to blow names out there, but after they got the deal, the project that's come out after the deal wasn't as strong as most of the stuff people were hearing beforehand. How are you gonna not fall under that hoax? I
mean, at the end of the day, like, they signed me based off of what I put out, which was Crib Was Here. My fan base knows the type of music I make, the content, you know, what I talk about. So for me to switch up, with, you know, it'd be crazy. 2, I'm producing all my shit. So, and I'm been all producing my entire album.
So you don't want nobody else on that?
I mean, this first one, man, I really want to produce it myself. I feel like just to follow behind the steps of you know, Kanye West, David Banner, you know, people like, you know, Pimp C, Andre 3000, you know, these type of artists, Devin the Dude, you know, that have produced, you know, they whole projects, they are attempted to. I kind of want to be that dude.
Okay. There's something I want to throw. You might have heard this before. But I feel like if you and Bun ever did a whole project together, it would sound like a fucking UGK.
Man, that would be amazing.
Would you be? So you'd be down to have a whole project?
Look, I'd be definitely down to do a whole project with Bun B, man, or just to do a song with Bun B, or just to produce a record for Bun B, man.
I don't think y'all should produce or do a song. I feel like y'all should do, even if it's like a 5-track EP.
EP,
I feel like if y'all did a project together, it would be so UGK nostalgic, it's not even funny.
Man, dog, but hey, I was mad influenced, dog. I was mad influenced. I mean, the Return of Forever, this whole movement is about kind of reintroducing a certain sound as far as Southern hip hop is, you know, is concerned, to reminding the older generation of what it used to sound like and introducing it to the newer generation.
Alright, Gumption's my favorite joint on Crib Was Here. What the hell is Gumption?
Gumption, man, one is a real word. 2, yes, you can Google this word. It stands for drive, determination, will, guts. Normally when my grandma used this term towards me, I was probably doing some shit I ain't had no business. Like, boy, you got a lot of gumption, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of nerve, you know?
Yeah,
but for the most part, it's kind of like I took from, if you think about Outkast, they were saying shit that you had no idea what they were talking about. But it meant something to them, and their lingo. And so I just wanted to kind of, a word that we use, you know, in my household. Hey, this is gumption. You know, I hope you get it. If you don't, you can go look it up. It's a real word, you know.
So when are we looking at next projects, whether it be Def Jam or not?
Okay, I mean, what we dropping Return of Forever, which is I'm gonna produce all of it March 22nd. It's gonna be for free, just to kind of get remind people that Crip was here was not a fluke. Keep kind of get my name back out there. But as far as Def Jam album, I think we're looking at like second quarter, third quarter, and it's gonna be crazy.
Have you already started on Def Jam stuff yet?
Man, I'm cutting records as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's really about capturing a moment, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that when I drop this album, it's a record. It all makes sense. It all cohesive. That's what I want.
Are you dealing directly with Sean Money for like back and forth for these records? Like he's the main guy you're talking to?
Oh yeah, Shine Johnny Shipes is definitely, you know what I'm saying. When it comes time to really sit down and we're gonna put this together, that's who we all gonna we're gonna definitely make sure it's all the way right.
Alright, that's what it is. Yo, man, GoodFellaMedia, it's your boy QS. Just talked to the homie Big K.R.I.T. Yo, big salute. I know my man Dutch told you in the interview that we got a lot of love for you over here.
Oh, no doubt, man.
You know what I mean? Keep doing your thing. We hope to see more.
Alright, appreciate it.